Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss what yogasanas, the basic physical exercises, the third stage of Akhand Yoga. As I've been saying, the result of my work is incarnation of many lives to come to this stage, and I'm very clear we learn something in one life and carry on to the next stage, and that's how we evolve over a period to enlightenment to empowerment. And first thing which comes to my mind is very important is devotion towards the divinity which is responsible for all what I have come to this particular stage. We are created by nature, we are guided by nature, we follow nature, only then the perfection can come. Then come to the question of karma yoga we do with the perfection in mind. Dharma, earth, kam, moksha. Our karma, everything should be as perfect, as truthful, as honest, as divinity itself. Only then we can make optimum use of the mind and action and thoughts and become the perfect human being on the universe to be representation of divinity itself to do wonders in life. Then come to the question of Mantra Vidya, Yantra Vidya, Tantra Vidya has been explained very well. But coming to the Ganit Vidya, the mathematical design, which is absolutely essential, and I know very well, Divyank is the ultimate divine of design with which the perfect human beings, solar system, spiral galaxy and the universe is designed and created is there. So this is the ultimate design of the nature in the light of which I am trying to show everything with Divyank and Ganit Vidya as such, the divine mathematics. Then come to the Akhand Yoga. As I know, this is integrated yoga which is based on Ashtang Yoga Patanjali, 8 steps. 9th and 10th are two things which I have added in the process. And Akhand Yoga, this picture clears it. It's a mathematical design of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and right up to Sahasrara can go up to 1024 petals. And I think that is also divinity which we see a binary thing in computers and other things even today. Then come to my general statement, if you want to have the impeccable wisdom which I am talking about for the first time in the history of mankind, we need a perfect wisdom. And for perfect wisdom, we should have perfect knowledge. For perfect knowledge, we should have perfect theoretical knowledge. And for perfect knowledge, we should have a perfect experience within ourselves. No one can talk of impeccable wisdom, experiencing the impeccable wisdom within the human body itself. Once you are subjective, objective is like that and you research, only then you reach that, otherwise not at all possible. No book can be explained unless until you have experienced the divinity of Ved, Upanishad within your own self. And having done that, I am explaining to the whole thing. So as a result, I know Patanjali Yoga Sutra is a great work, but has any experience? I doubt very much. This is a picture 3000. I still call it the greatest document, but it has to be understood in overall context of unity of Jivatma, the human body, with Antaratma, the indwelling soul of Aditi, and Paramatma, the universal consciousness. When all the three are together, only you can understand Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the Sanskrit document written 3000 years ago. Now comes the first lesson is exposition of Patanjali starts as the first sutra. The very second yoga is a chitta vritti, stop the fluctuation mind, and yogi have raised the question, yoga is not stopping the fluctuation mind alone, there is something more than that. What is that? Which is third, it says, when you come to the stop the fluctuation, only then your true self comes up. And this is what I said, then true self means your antaratma. And then when you come to that particular stage of antaratma, only you realize anything which is not truthful, honest and otherwise is a fluctuation of mind, and that's responsible for all the psychosomatic disorders of the world. Now, what are the different kinds of defects are there? According to Patanjali, there are 5 different things. That means it's Panch Bhutas, Panch Tattvas, Panch Tantra. No wonder everything is resolved out sign. When I think of that is the Bhumi or the Prithvi, Jal or the Apa, the Agni, the fire, Vayu, the air, and Akash as a quintessence. All the 5 states are the one which give you the knowledge, and this is very clear in 5 slokas itself. Each is a document by itself, and I think it's brilliant. Anyone who does not understand perfection of Jivatma, Antaratma and Paramatma would have all the defects of psychosomatic disorders, Kundalini syndrome, and that is what the world is suffering from. Now, as I told you, the first stage, 4 stages of Yogasana are very clear. One is the Samadhi Pada, another is Sadhana Pada, there is Vibhuti and Kaivalya. These are the 4 stages which are phenomenal in qualification and understanding of the entire yoga into these 4 things is beautifully done. Now, my spiritual experience, if you want to be perfectly physically healthy, free from all the diseases, have a perfect emotional health, perfect mental, soulish, racial health, perfect education and wisdom, adequate abundance of prosperity, and learn the science of sharing money, name, fame, everything for the world of everybody's good. And then only you can understand every mineral, plant, animal and human being as such. That is the spiritual science wisdom which I am talking about, which I have experienced. I can understand the beauty, and then you have no difficulty whatsoever to reach and understand every aspect of the universe within your own self. You become a walking, talking encyclopedia. Then come to the Akhand Yoga. I make it very clear. Chit Vritti Nirodh is same thing which is there in yogas. But there is something more than that. And that is a Chetna Satyapyog. That means once fluctuation mind, the inner consciousness, the awareness is aware. Make optimum use of that. That is Akhand Yoga. If you can't understand the mind, you can't understand the awareness, you can't understand Antaratma and Paramatma otherwise, then you cannot be a yogi at all. And that's it. So impeccable wisdom is stop the fluctuation mind. Killing of the mind is not Akhand Yoga. And anyone who's killing the mind through drugs and different things is definitely killing himself completely. And optimum useless mind is the Akhand Yoga. And I think I always make it. Mind, people say, can be your asset or your liability. Mind cannot be a liability, it can be an asset for the genius. And become the genius. Don't be an idiot. And make optimum is better to understand the universe, which I have done for the first time in history of America after 60 years of work to recognize, conceive and reveal divine to the world, and there all the education can be done completely. That is enlightening foundation wisdom of Akhand Yoga. So Akhand Yoga becomes very important. Only then you understand the Ganit Vidya completely. As a result, you understand all your 5 senses, mind, intelligence, intuition, everything is divinity pure. And once you have all the experience of all, then you realize external indriya are the one which gives you outside, mind gives you the thought, buddhi gives you the intelligence, intuition gives you the empirical wisdom, and all are connected with your antaratma and paramatma alone. Once you see with the atma, the whole recognition and recognize, seer, seen and seer become one. When everything becomes one, only then you are Akhand Yogi, otherwise you are not Akhand Yogi. Then come to the stage of Yama, Niyam, Yogasana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi are 8 Ashtanga Yoga Patanjali only, and I am sticking to that definition. There is no need for me to change, except maybe order. Then Chakra Yoga is a Kundalini and awakening of chakras, which are 10.33 or 108 chakras I am talking about. Then indwelling soul within the human ventricles of the brain, and also descent of Mahashakti, Adi Prashakti. Then all the 3 are there working from the ventricles of the brain. Only then you become a perfect yogi of Akhand Yoga, and I am slowly proceeding towards that. Having explained about Yama, the 5 virtues which are very important, this is the first stages of Akhand Yoga is very, very clear. And in that, Satya is the truth, Ahimsa is non-violence, Astya is non-stealing, and Brahmacharya is a great character in not celibacy, but great nature by itself. You treat everybody as with respect. And epigraph, non-equestrianness is the thing which you do not need. You keep only things which you need. Anything you don't need it, give it to somebody else who can use it. Then the greatest prayer is Astoma Satgamya. This Maharishi Yajnavalkya says, take me from untruth to the truth. That should be the prayer which everybody should have. And this is what you see me from myself. I'm getting a truth and then seeing the entire universe within me. Then Satyamev Jayate is something which should be the process of everyone. Truth always wins. And Satyam Shiva, that any person who is completely truthful, honest, and otherwise is only beautiful, otherwise you are not beautiful. And come to the question of second is Niyam, the foundation wisdom of 5 things. This is second stage of Akhand Yoga, which has to be learned. First 5 are the natural processes which are with Antaratma itself. When come to the Niyam, these are discipline you have to develop. And the discipline, when I say tamso, I am ignorant about things, get me be enlightened, so I understand the work and move on with that. Once that is done, then you are literally learning how to discipline. This is where Surya comes to play a role, because for me, everything I have learned from Surya only. For Niyam, for me, the example is Lord Surya, how it gets up, how it does work, everything. I am just trying to be a reflection of Surya, and Aditi, which is come from Surya, as a combination of me, Aditi and Aditya, has been given, which is starting point one, the voice of silence with which I am talking about. Then come to the question of the 5 second stages of Sochi, the purity within and outside. Sense of satisfaction, contentment is absolutely essential. What is there, learn it, and don't aspire something which is not theirs. And what is there will be given to you, come what may. And have the pasya, the thing to produce energy, heat, to make a difference, that you can move up to a higher level of Vayu and Akash with the pasya only. The energy should take you to Udana Prana to Vayana Prana. Then same Swadhyaya, self-study of the thing, that means you understand your own self within. From mineral kingdom to the plant kingdom to animal kingdom to this, all can be experienced within the human body, because we are walking, talking chemistry itself. Then realizing Ishwar Pranidhana, then realization of God within yourself, that means become aware of Aditi or Kundalini or Antaratma and be devoted to that and give importance only to that. Don't listen to anything other than that. Then Antaratma will make sure that you will never make a single mistake, provided you are listening to the voice of silence alone. And I can tell you from 1997, I've been only following Antaratma, nothing other than that. Then come to the question of Yogasanas, which I am talking about, which is absolutely essential as the third part of Akhand Yoga. This is a basic physical exercise which I am talking about. And exercise is stretching within the physiological limits so that you are perfectly normal homeostatically. Anything beyond that, less or more, is problematic. So perfect physical exercise, stretch. But your physiology should be normal. There should not be any disturbance. Don't do too much, don't do too little. Keep it active like Surya, and then only systematically you could be moving to the higher and higher levels through education, enlightenment, and empowerment. So you got to understand, exercise is a stretch, and need not necessarily only physical exercises. There are mental exercises, there are educational exercises, there are so many education. That is Ganit Vidya is all about. That is science, spiritual science, all about. Then all the exercises you should learn and stretch it within physiological normal limits. Nothing less, nothing more. Then come to the question of third greatest prayer of Maharaj Mrityo Ma Amrit. Only when you are following all the mind completely, exercises properly, only from death you can come to immortality. So literally, untruth to truth, darkness to the light, death to immortality, all the 3 things which Maharishi Yajnavalkya talks in Brihad Upanishad has to be done, everybody, to reach that level of immortality. And for immortality, yogasanas play a very, very important role. All the 3 are preparing yourself to come to that stage. These are foundation 3 things which is required. Now come to let's understand the yogasanas completely. Yogasanas are yogic postures and physical exercises which tone up the physical body, make it steady, healthy, supple, flexible and sensitive for an experience of divinity within that. All the exercises, the heat, energy should be in such a way that you can include the movement within your body. Then you understand the whole thing very clearly. There will not be any block. You can do all the postures 108 different types. You can sit in the position comfortably and there will not be any block whatsoever. And blocks are, that means energy is less, and too much could also be problematic. We should be optimally very comfortably sit, and that should be the yogasana's objective within the physiological limit. To the extent you do not suffer, but stretch little slowly over a period, you come to the stage, then you can do wonders over a period. And steady and comfortable posture produces a mental equilibrium and prevents lethargy and fickleness of the mind. That again, mind, only when it is dynamic, when the movement is there, it rises from soul right up to head, step by step, and that is spiritual evolution. And that's why you understand the beauty of mind. And if it's equilibrium, it's a potentially normal samadhi, even state of the mind, only then you can understand the go beyond that, otherwise not at all possible. Yogasana are just not physical exercise, they are pieces of well experienced practice and evolved art of physical postures which help preserve and maintain the physical body in a perfectly healthy state. That should be the objective. And you should have a perfect physical health without any disease, emotional stability, mental, everything can be done with yogasana itself, because they prepare you the warmth. And you should, the warmth which is important, and when you start yogasanas, first thing you should focus that you heat up the body. Only when the heat is there, you will not experience any pain. If you straightaway start doing more exercises with a cool body and not exercising, giving it a heat, you could have all the problems in the world. So even yogasanas have to a system which has to be done step by step, warm up first and then go on step by step, so that it's very comfortable in the process. Anything exertion, stability is definitely not required. A perfectly healthy person is made with a symmetrical design, and to preserve it, we need to follow the basic principles of the yogasana. This is what I am talking about. Now come to the question. There are three different types of bodies in the world which I am very clear about: ectomorph, mesoform and endomorph. Ectomorph is the physical body of the person in whom skin, nervous system and the controlling system is very powerful. These are the people who are super intelligent, and I can tell you from myself, I fit into the ectomorph type, who's fundamentally an intelligent person, intuitive, who's perfect in this part. Only when the mind is controlled, you can be educated, enlightened, other thing. But I can tell you, other people can also have this particular concept. It all depends how we concentrate. Mesoform is when you build up muscles and bones and other things, you have a little more stronger. But that is at great expense of nervous system. That is not something which I would recommend for anyone. Brain is good, but brain is more important. Third is the endomorph, or the end organs in the body which are unsafe. See, first one is skeletal muscles with nervous system, very powerful. This is muscles, I agree. Third one is one you have endocrine system. So in the process, you will understand there are three different types of muscles which play a very important role. One is the skeletal muscles, which are motor in action, but you have smooth muscles and cardiac muscles which are involuntary under autonomic control. Both your motor and autonomic control should be all together in the perfection. Only that body can be perfectly in tune with universal consciousness. You should have a blend of all the three together within yourself, so that you have the muscle power, you have the RBC, you have the hemoglobin, you have the oxygen, you have every energy, all the food, and then you can be perfect being, one for all, for everybody. And I think this particular picture is very clear. Maybe you can see in mine, gray hair is the result of more of that, whereas other things continue to be. Then I'll tell you the muscles, skeletal muscles are the first thing you can see in this particular thing, which are very important for building up for physical exercises. And here I make it one thing very clear. They are the external factors, and these are the ones that get tired very well. We can walk with this limited because they have the power of producing pyruvic acid or lactic acid, when glucose is broken down through oxygen to pyruvic acid, without oxygen to lactic acid, they can be painful otherwise. So you must have a limit in this particular thing. The whole muscles are designed in such a way, they have a limitation, they are external things, and they give you the power which is limited, so that you cannot be violent, you cannot be abusive, you cannot do anything violence of any nature. Though all the external, the legs and hands and other things, have a limitation, because nature never wanted you to become violent, come what may be. That's it. Then come to smooth muscles, are the inside muscles which all the sensory organs are, like eyes, this, and also the vein, another thing, and all the digestive system is connected with this. This is second thing, which is autonomic in nervous system, and this is what controls your blood pressure, things automatically. And once these muscles are taken care of, exercised properly, you will have a perfect blood pressure, no fluctuation, everything normal, and flow will be good, digestion will be good, absorption will be good, and function will be very good. This is second part, is involuntary control, which is this Kundalini automatically works on. And that's why I said this is central autonomic endocrine system, where the smooth muscles are play very both. Both endocrine and autonomic system is there in this particular thing. Then the cardiac muscle in the heart. So whatever is water absorption, everything done by the digestive system, and oxygen from this is taken to the blood, and heart pumps it to that. So arteries carry oxygenated blood from heart to the periphery. Leave it at that. So the cardiac muscles are the most important. They are the one who never get tired. That's a question which I make it. Skeletal muscle can get tired. Smooth muscles do not get tired, but cardiac muscle definitely never get tired, because heart has to function 24/7 for rest of your life, from the beginning to the end. And it doesn't get, why it does not get tired? Basically, skeletal muscle use glucose for that. For that matter, cardiac muscles use fatty acids, not glucose. And 1 gram of protein or 1 gram of carbohydrate can produce 4 kilocalories. But when it comes to the fatty acid, 1 gram of fatty acid can produce 9 kilocalories, which is 2.25 times more than the glucose part. Why? Because there is beta oxidation. The amount of oxygen content in fatty acid is minimum, where a carbon and hydrogen remain same. When this is the oxygen which is replaced into the fatty acids and converted into pyruvic acid, glucose, otherwise gives you no pyruvic acid and lactic acid, but things would automatically work. So the heart without any cardiac block would have no difficulty at all. If you maintain the heart rate to 72 for the rest of your life and exercise one, so that come back to resting this stage, then you are perfectly normal in your exercise. So cardiac muscles become very important from that point of view. Maintain the cardiac health, because it has to work efficiently. That's why seventh level is given in the heart, with a pacemaker with 10 stages of conducting system itself. Now already, once you do this and take care of this, and not have anything with LDL cholesterol or triglyceride, other thing which can block the coronary arteries, if you keep them potent and other thing, you are perfectly normal for the rest of your life. So that's why exercise is very important for the heart muscles, skeletal muscles, and smooth muscles. Then conducting heart, as I told you, since it is maintained, then you will have no problem whatsoever. Now digestive system also the same thing. The smooth muscles will make sure that digestion is clear and is peristaltic movement, and digestion is normal, there is no problem. All your water, nutrition, everything is clearly done, and heart can take it. Then you are perfectly normal. This is a system where smooth muscles and cardiac muscles with autonomic nervous system, endocrine system work very well. So you need to exercise endocrine system, autonomic nervous system completely. Take care of smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, and skeletal muscles all efficiently, and that is yogasanas. Then comes to the question, only the woman who has been exercising properly would have no difficulty in delivering child completely without any difficulty. I have seen that within my wife's case, both my sons were delivered very efficiently, because everything was prepared. with yogasanas to make sure that she is physically healthy, emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, whole endocrine, every system is done very well. And once that is done, the woman who is exercising properly yogasana into that particular thing would have no difficulty at all in delivering the fetus at all. And I have seen that in many women, and they never had to go for cesarean section, other thing, but they were not the one who were lazy. And most of the people who go for cesarean section, the problem are the lazy people who take too much of rest. No one is prepared. But I've seen my mother, others and others, my sisters and my relatives and many friends, other thing, who are very active till the last day. And within couple of hours, they just go deliver and come back and do very well. And that is also a yogasana which I am talking about. Then come to the yogasana, then understanding has to be there. This proper understanding of the human anatomy is important, and also understanding that you be very close to the trees and bushes which produce oxygen, and morning is oxygen is high. After cleaning the abdomen fully, clothes, then do yogasana in such a way, in a very clear muscle. Clothes should be nice, should be start gradually, slowly and steadily, exercise at will, uninterrupted for 30 minutes at a stretch. Control both the laterals should be done. Synchronization of both the sides should be there. Awareness of both the sides of the body is important. Contraction should follow relaxation. Awareness and movement of the breath. After exercise, relax for a flat surface. Walking and losing exercises. Front, back, lateral, upside, no. Everything has to be done. And that is what I mean. You have to take care of skeletal muscles, you have to take care of smooth muscles, you got to get a target. Only then yogasana can be done. And if person who does with perfect human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and psychology, can we only do a yogasana, otherwise not at all possible. Then comes to the precaution. Before starting any physical exercise, it's better to get yourself to do more medical tests and keep it for that matter. I've always been doing that, and I find in the last 30 years I've been consciously to yogasana. My whole biochemistry and psychology has improved step by step. And keep it that even if you have difficulty, you can check and counter check and improve of all the difficulty, because the body is capable. You can undo many damages including heart attack and other things, provided you are understanding yogasanas very clearly. And once that is done, then you'll have no problem. Only after rectification of organic problems, the person should use the yogasanas. It is advisable that each spiritual person should learn these exercises under direct spiritual experience. Yoga exponent and the advantage help every muscle, every nerve, organ in the body. They produce a fine, strong, elastic changes, and which can make a person with yogasana could give the level which is unheard of otherwise. Yogasana, the greatest blessings, and that is required with understanding. And this is the yogasana with the 10 steps, and I make it very clear from my experience that this particular exercise of 12 steps of yogasana as shown in this, if somebody is able to do this very well, you are literally made whole physical body perfect in by and large. And the Surya Namaskar is the best exercise from a yogic angle. There is nothing other than that, including mantras which are connected with it, wearing names of 12 names of Surya, etc. It's a phenomenal work. Then the most important part is Vajrasana. Sitting in this position, in this you can do it. You will have very good skeletal muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles in balance. This is the most perfect exercise to sit and pray and do things like that. And I think anybody who can do this particular thing completely comfortably is going to make optimum use of spirituality thereafter. Complete education is based on Surya Namaskar and Vajrasana by and large. And third thing which I call about Sirsasana, you convert whole thing to do. Legs on top and blood. The blood venous system can go into the heart and into the brain, and that is what enlightenment is. People do not use the brain at all. This exercise of Sirsasana is important for everybody because blood has to go to brain, clear it, heart, lungs, everything. And it is the reverse of thing which there. If you don't do that in the process, you are not learning to do the lateral or contralateral up and down. So that way these three exercises are very, very important. Now I'm giving you one very important treadmill exercise. The focus on skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, cardiac muscles will be very good, and you'll be perfectly healthy because it will make sure that right up to 61.8% of your skeletal muscles can be exercised with oxygen alone in this particular thing. And then come to the question of inside the veins, arteries, nerve, blood flow will be better, and also the heart and everything will function very well. Skeletal, smooth, and muscle must be perfect, provided you do that for 22 minutes with a gradual change in the step by step. And this is the perfect thing you can do, and at the same time, same thing you can do without that also in the physical body, provided you start fresh, slowly go on increasing, and go on increasing the speed, and go and keep the awareness and let the blood flow throughout, and you will find the bliss. And just like you can do it with equipment or without equipment, once that is done, your skeletal smooth and muscles are cardiac muscles are perfect. You'll have a perfect integrated health. You'll have no problem with physical health, no diseases, no emotional problem, no mental problem, and you could be educated, enlightened, empowered. Otherwise, only a person who is fully exercised can become intelligent and intuitive and do that. Without that, I am glad ever since my childhood, being from Katra to this, I get up morning 3:30, 4 o'clock and continue to do work in a systematic way like Surya, and I continue to do that. There is no laziness, nothing at all. No wonder as a result I have a phenomenal academic record, research record, professional record, otherwise, because you need to be regularly doing that. And it is something which you should become a part of, like Surya. Surya can do it, why can't we all do it? And I think I'm a living example. No wonder I've done that. And that is the event, and I think this is enough for the day. I think once somebody understands this is how yoga, yamas, pranayama, niyama, as well as yogasana, all the three. Yam, the virtues, niyam, the disciplines, and the exercises. Once this is ready, you are literally prepared to go to the next stage, to higher and higher. And you're going to see how we are slowly and steadily moving towards that. And this is a sequence which I want everybody. First have the virtues cleared, then have the discipline, then do yogasana, then go to pranayam and other stages. And once you do that systematically, only then you can be educated, enlightened. Otherwise, no lazy person who does not understand education completely can ever be a healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy at all. And that's it. I think I should leave it at this particular stage. Thank you very much.